Welcome in everyone to Cash That Ticket Podcast here on the Straight Outta Vegas AM feed. Wednesday, May the 13th, 2026, here to get into the NBA loan game on Wednesday night. And of course, we'll tackle the MLB games here as well. Only two early games starting today on Wednesday on the MLB schedule. But we have, well, that just gives us an opportunity to dive into more of the later games on the MLB schedule. So we'll do that, guy. We'll do that for you guys here today. Of course, we'll get you a coupon code for pregame.com and we'll wrap it up with best bets for the Wednesday episode here. But joining me as always to help me break everything down happening in the sporting world, I got Uncle Diamond Dave Essler. Uncle Dave, how's it going today?
Going all right. A little bit sloppy for me yesterday, both with clients and with this podcast. We had some good things going on.
Yep.
Some of the games that I did not bet that I gave out opinions on, I probably should have bet, right? I mean, I said to be kind of be leery of the Dodgers as the potential parlay killer, and they were that. And a couple I made the comment of you have to bet them all or bet none of them, and I didn't do that. That was my mistake. But live and learn. Hopefully, only make that mistake once in a while instead of every day.
Yeah, I can officially say I'm on a cold streak now. I don't think, won a best bet since Friday or since last Thursday. But like we mentioned, that's just the ebbs and flows of sports betting. So, we're just going to continue grinding it out. We've been in cold streaks before, but we've had more winners than losers there. So that's something that we'll pride ourselves on this podcast here. But our process has just, it's stayed the same, right? We haven't changed that up, and I think that's, what's really led to the success here for us on this podcast. And unfortunately, Uncle Dave, by the last three losers I've given out, two of them I've lost by the hook, right? Jalen Brunson, I had the over 26 and a half points. I think he only finished with 26. Then last night I had the under in the first half under in the Spurs and the Wolves game, give it out at 105 and a half. Market, I think, closed at 106 and it lands right on 106 there. So, that's just how it goes sometimes. But we'll flip the page, we'll brush it off, and we'll provide or get back to winning here on this episode, Uncle Dave. So let's get into it here. We'll start here in the NBA. One game on the schedule. That'll be game
Five.
six. Game five? Yeah, game five. You're right. Game five. I don't know why this series is a game behind, but
I know it feels like it's a week behind.
yeah. So we got Cavs and Pistons tied up at two games apiece here as the series shifts back to Detroit for game five. Right now, looking at the lines for this game, odds courtesy of DraftKings. The Pistons are a weak minus 4.5, so it's probably minus four out there consensus. So again, I always say shop around, get the best number. Total sitting at 212.5 in this game here, Uncle Dave, as far as injury report goes uh, for oh, for this game. Pretty clean, at least for the Cleveland side of things. You have some questionable tags on three guys for the Pistons. It'll be Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, and Kevin Huerter for that team there. But in Cavs fashion, they win both home games. Now they're back on the road here, where they haven't won a road game thus far in the postseason. Uncle Dave, does that theme continue, or does that change here for the Cavs tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we know the Cavs have not been a good road team, but they were catching 3.5 in both of the first two games. Total was 216.5. And now they're back in Detroit. They're getting an extra point. The total's plummeted 4 points. And I wonder about that total. First two stayed under in Cleveland, it went over, and now they're back to under. I like the first half under here, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's 2-2, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think Cleveland probably found a little momentum, a little confidence when they went, was it 24 to nothing run in that last game. So I think this game is going to play like it's all square. We're back to game one, the best two out of three. So I think we're going to see a sluggish start. Sluggish meaning hopefully not a lot of points because I like the first half under. I think they'll be a little bit more methodical. Now, I mean they're kind of begging for an over, right? Because the last two games with the same total went over,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't see it. I don't know how the second half's going to play out, but I'm all about the first half under here. And as far as the side, at 4.5, I would have to take Cleveland. I expect a close game. I mean, every game's been relatively close, within within, 10, 10, 7, 9. How they get there is a different story every game, but they always get there. So, now ESPN bet just went to 3.5. So I think if I could get Cavs at 4.5, I'd probably take it. And I would be looking at the first half under 103.5 at this point. Um, it just seems again like they're begging for over money, and I'm not going to go there. So yeah, first half under and at 4.5 Cavs. Anything less than that, I'm passing.
Yeah, for me, I like Detroit in the first quarter here, Uncle Dave. In their home, they've played 6 home games thus far in the postseason. They've been leading by at least 4 points in 4 of those 6 games. And, they had talked about this, or some of the players on the Detroit side after that series with the Magic ended. And, they said that that first game, game one, where they took the punch in the mouth by losing by 11 points as the number one seed. That was kind of a wake up call for them. Now, mind you, they did lose, their 2 games in Orlando and, of course, the 2 games in Cleveland, but they've been a very good home team and they've gone off to pretty good starts, especially coming off of a loss at home. And I think that theme continues here for the Pistons here, right? We've always talked about, and I've mentioned that game 5 is always that pivotal, or sorry, game 5 is always that pivotal game, where a team can go up 3 games to 2. But I do think on the back of Cade Cunningham and making those adjustments here, I do like the Pistons in the first quarter here. -1.5 is spread right now. If you don't play the money line, it's at -148. But I like them in that first quarter to at least be up by a bucket in this game here. As far as the total or anything like that, you mentioned the first half under. I'd be with you on that as well. I just see Detroit just plays a better brand of defense at home for whatever reason that is. I've mentioned role players just play better at home, and I think that's just been the case for both of these teams thus far, not only in this series but throughout the postseason for them. So I know Cade is going to do Cade Cunningham things, but I'm really looking for some of these guys to step up, especially on the defensive side there. So at least in the first half, I think this will be a lower scoring affair between these two teams. So I'll be with you on that, and I like the Pistons in the first quarter, a -1.5 until Cleveland proves otherwise, Uncle Dave. I would
Yeah,
again. I it sounds SpongeBob SquarePants and
I
but
love it.
but they just haven't been able to show up on the road. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. I just take the other tack that at some point the
yeah,
pendulum's going to swing.
it's like going to the roulette wheel, right? It's like, all right, you've seen,
Right,
red show up 10 times in a row, and you're like, all right, well, at least,
right.
the color black is bound to show up at some point there. So, um, yeah, so again, I just need to see from Cleveland before I can back them on the road here. And I think that this is a series, Uncle Dave. I think that does end up going 7 games here. So I think Detroit wins tonight. I think Cleveland gets it back at home, and I think we'll be back in Detroit for a game 7. Whenever that schedule permits there. So Detroit first quarter for -1.5, and I'm with you on that first half under. Any player props you're looking at for this game?
No, I mean, I would have to go again, SpongeBob, and look at Cunningham. I mean, he was held under 20 for the first time in the playoffs, right? And if Detroit's going to do it, it's probably going to be him. I mean, we know LeVert is on the injury report.
Hmm.
Um, he's probably going to play. I mean, I would think, but he was the leading scorer in the last game, right? 24 points, 31 minutes. I don't expect him to do that again. Period. I mean, he's not going to shoot 10 for 16. I mean, maybe he will. I would be willing to bet he doesn't. So I'd probably look at his props under because they're probably a little higher than they should be. But I would have to take Cunningham over. Stars show up when they need to, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I would look at Cunningham over props and probably LeVert if he plays under props. I mean, I just don't see, I just don't see both happening again.
Yeah, I think for Cade, we know that he's going to get the minutes, he's going to get the usage. And again, this is a big game for obviously both teams here. So you want to get behind your best player, and I think obviously that is Cade for the for the Pistons. And in the postseason at home this season, he's averaging 41 minutes per game and averaging 31.8 points per game. Now, mind you, in the 2 games against Cleveland, he's only scored 23 and 25. But I think this is an opportunity, as you mentioned, Uncle Dave, that coming off of a game where he was less or held to less than 20 points in that game. So I think he shows up in a big way here tonight. for the Pistons. I'd be remiss not to mention he also did have a triple double in Cleveland in Game 3 there, 27, 10, and 10 in a losing effort there. So he's playing real well right now for this Pistons team. All right, so I think that's it here for the Cavs and the Pistons game. Again, the lone game here in the NBA on Wednesday night. We'll shift our focus here to the MLB. Of course, as I mentioned, we'll start getting a little bit more MLB heavy as we get less and less series in the NBA, Uncle Dave. I'll just kind of run through it here. Like I mentioned, we have two early games on the Wednesday card. Yankees, Orioles starting at 105 Eastern, and then Angels and Guardians at 110 Eastern. So 5 minute gap between those two start times. But um, I'd be remiss not to mention we talked about Paul Skenes yesterday. He went out and threw an absolute phenomenal game, backed up what he did in the previous start, going another 8 innings, only allowing one hit and having 10 strikeouts. He struck out the first six batters that he saw in the game against the Rockies yesterday. But Rockies and Pirates back at it here tonight. Jose Quintana on the mound for the Rockies will be Mitch Keller for the Pirates, Uncle Dave. Minus 186 on the money line for the Pirates, plus 153 on the take back price for the Rockies. Total sitting at 8.5 in this game. You got anything for Rockies Pirates?
Yeah, I mean, I love to bet on Mitch Keller, but do not hear what I'm not saying. At minus 180, I'm not so sure I like that. I would be inclined to look at the over. And Quintana has killed me a bunch. So I'm really skeptical about this game. But the weather in Pittsburgh is, PNC Park is not always conducive to runs, but today we got a double-digit mile-an-hour wind blowing pretty much straight out. A little chilly still in the mid 50s, but I would be inclined to look at that over probably uh, before I would look at a side. I mean, I'm not laying one minus 180, 185 on the Pirates. I mean, just forget it. Uh, can't do it. Not against my Rockies. So I would look at the total there. Potentially the Pirates team total over, but Quintana, he just even at his age, he always seems to come up with that. Well, where did that come from? Game. So I'm skeptical. Not skeptical enough to take plus 150, but I could conceivably get behind the Rockies run line, but again, they gotta be happy to not be seeing Skeens tonight. So
Yeah.
let's not throw them under the bus for last night.
Yeah, Quintana coming off of three great starts against the Mets. Well, two were against the Mets. I don't know how much you want to take away from that for a team that's been really struggling, but he did have a really good start against the Braves, 6 innings, one earned run. And then after that, the bullpen came in and gave up seven behind him that start against Atlanta not last Friday, but on May 1st on Friday there. But he's in pretty good form right now. I mean, this could be maybe a regression game for him. I think the one thing that jumps out to me about Quintana is that, yeah, he's been throwing well, but he has a 1.33 whip. Maybe, I mean, it's not high, but
Yeah, that's kind of average, I guess.
yeah. So I think at some point, these batters have to take advantage of it. He has been giving up the walks as well, so something to keep an eye on in this game here between the Pirates and the Rockies. Let's get over, Uncle Dave, to the Phillies and the Red Sox here. Now we got Andrew Painter on the mound for the Phillies, Sonny Gray going for the Red Sox. Red Sox right now are a minus 131 home favorite, plus 109 on the money line for the Phillies. Total is set at 9 in this one here, Uncle Dave.
Yeah, that game kind of concerns me a little bit, and I looked at it, and Painter hasn't been good. I mean, right? I mean, I'll spare you the stats, but he just hasn't. And Sonny Gray looked good. He came back from a 15-day stint. It looked really good. So I was like all over the Red Sox, right? From 130, whatever it is, minus 135. And then I look at the team totals, and the Phillies is 4.5 minus 140 under, and the Red Sox is 4.5 minus 120 under. That is a little concerning to me. I mean, it kind of tells me the game's probably going to stay under.
Mhm.
Um, Now, there's a pretty decent breeze blowing out to the Green Monster, and I think going to be 10 to 15 miles an hour all night. Not warm, but not cold, 60. So, my gut reaction was Boston and team total over, which is kind of what I want to do,
Yeah.
but the team totals is like, okay, something doesn't really jive here, and I do that a lot. Lots of times, you look at a game and you can't really find an edge, and you just dig and dig and dig, and Why are those team totals the way they are? Why are more of the tickets and more of the money on the Phillies? Is it just because Boston kind of sucks? I don't know.
Mm.
I would have to take Boston here if I'm being, if I maybe I'm overthinking the problem. I would take the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, you said you're gonna
Well,
stare.
maybe as I think that through the first 5 innings. I mean, if I'm just going to say Painter and Gray, Gray's the better pitcher. Let's face it. Um, and yeah, first five over. Maybe Red Sox team total first five over, but I got to
Yeah,
go Sonny Gray.
yeah, I think of the nail on the head there. That it's Red Sox first five team total over. Probably get that obviously at 2.5. Um, the Phillies have lost five straight starts that Painter has made.
Yeah, I mean he's been terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, 8 earned runs and home runs are a problem for him. He's allowed at least one home run in four straight starts. He gave up three to the A's in
Yeah,
his last
now
start.
he's in Fenway Park, which can be intimidating for anybody, and he's got a wind blowing out
Yeah.
over his right shoulder. So, I mean, but again, the team totals make me go, hey, maybe there's something I'm missing here, but maybe not.
Yeah, I see minus 110 on the over 4.5 at DraftKings for that team total. Minus 140 under, as you mentioned, for the Phillies as far as their team total goes. Yeah, that wind is it's something that's standing out to me as well. You mentioned around 16, 10 to 15 to 16 miles per hour blowing out there in Boston. So we'll see if they're able to take advantage of it as far as scoring runs here tonight. Let's get over to the next game on the card I want to get to here, Uncle Dave. We'll get to the Rays and the Blue Jays here. Griffin Jack's on the mound here for the Rays. It'll be Dylan Cease for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays minus 156 on the money line, plus 129 for the Rays. Total sitting at 7.5 in this one. Uncle Dave, any thoughts on Rays, Blue Jays?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to get it bad against Dylan Cease, right? I like Griffin Jacks. I just don't know if I like him in this particular spot. I mean, what's his upside? Is it I mean he's Toronto's seen quite a bit of him, and they haven't done a lot of damage to him. I mean, Springer's got 2 home runs and 5 at bats, but other than that, not a lot. But what's the deal? Well, a part of me looks at this as why is Dylan Cease so cheap? Um, I mean, he's a Cy Young Award candidate every year.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, he did get beat by Minnesota. He did get beat by Boston. He gave up some runs to the Angels. I mean, I would probably have to look at maybe Cease's strikeout props. I mean, do I really want to pay uh, minus 150? Not really. Not in a game that the total opened 7.5, juiced over, and now actually at circa it's 7.5 under minus 115. So I think that would probably tell me that if I were going to make a semi-sharp bet on this game, I would think I would take Tampa Bay on the run line, only because the market's kind of wonky there, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay on the run line. How about that?
Yeah, I was trying to see what the team strikeout percentage is for the Rays against right-handed pitching. And Fangraphs always does a fantastic job of breaking this down. They are actually the second least. Right down there, the 30th team is actually Toronto. So they're not striking out a lot against right-handed pitching thus far this season there. So what you mentioned, right? Dylan Cease always in the conversation every single year. When he's obviously good in Cy Young conversations. And, thus far this season, he's gone off to a really good start for this Blue Jays rotation. 3-1 with a 2.58 ERA, 66 strikeouts. He has a 13.1 strikeouts per 9 innings rating thus far, and he's coming off a game where he had 10 strikeouts against the Team Angels, who strike out the most against right-handed pitching there. So, take
Yeah,
that for
maybe
what it's worth.
maybe look at Cease strikeout props under. I mean, the Rays strike out like the second least of anybody in
Yeah.
baseball.
Yeah, I think that's a good call there. So I think this could be a little bit of a pitching duel as well here
Yeah,
tonight.
that's why I'm thinking the run line might be the smart play there.
Yeah, on the Rays plus 1.5. Let's get over to maybe the pitching matchup of the night, Uncle Dave. We've got the Padres and the Brewers Michael King on the mound for the Padres, and the Miz Jacob Misiorowski on the mound for the Brewers. Brewers minus 156 on the money line, plus 129 for the Padres. Total sitting at 7 in this game. Anything for Padres Brewers?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to jump on Misiorowski, right? I mean, look what he did last week against the Yankees, but I don't know that that can be duplicated, right? I mean, he threw a bunch of 103-mile-an-hour pitches. I mean, I don't care who you are, that is tough to rebound from, right? And then you look at Michael King. I mean, what's he done? Well, almost what Mizorowski's done. I mean, his whip on the season is just a tad over one. I mean, that's not horrible. I mean, tad under. I mean, I think it's 1.05. I mean, that's not bad. He doesn't walk a lot of people. He doesn't give up the long ball. He did against Arizona, but other than that, and then on the flip side, he really hasn't faced a lot of great competition. Cardinals, White Sox, Arizona Angels, Seattle. So it's tough. I mean, again, I think if I'm looking at this game, I'm probably looking at at perhaps taking the Padres on the run line. I mean, it's not going to be cheap. It's probably like minus 170. But I don't want to fade Mizorowski, but I don't want to just make the mistake that a lot of people might do, that a team or a player is going to perform exactly like they did last time. And I just don't think so. I mean, Mizorowski had to get up for playing the Yankees. I mean, he threw 95 pitches too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's for him. That's kind of a lot. I mean, he's done it a bunch of times, but he's just a young kid. I don't. You know, Again, the Padres can hit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
minus Fernando Tatis, and but you know, and Miz, yeah, he beat the Yankees, but other games he's played, Washington, the Pirates, Miami, Toronto got him for a couple, Boston got him for a couple, Tampa Bay got him for a couple, the White Sox. So he hasn't exactly faced, the Dodgers, Cubs, and Braves uh, of the NL. So I could get, Padres. Padres might be a sneaky pick here, if I guess is what I'm saying.
I like how you got the jab in there on Fernando Tatis Jr. On the way that he started the season for this Padres team. Yeah, everybody always wants to look at the Mizorowski strikeout props, and rightfully so, right? He's had at least 8 strikeouts in 4 straight starts. And he's had 9 in throughout the last 4 starts for the Brewers rotation there, but I don't want to say he's ever going to get into Paul Skenes territory, but or something like that. But at a point, we might start seeing him getting a little bit overvalued, or we start looking at the other side. Maybe we're not at that point quite yet for him. The strikeout props definitely is already there, but as far as the money line plays, I don't. I would be on the Padres side of things here as well, just taking the plus odds at around plus 130 right now, currently over on DraftKings. Mariners, Astros there, Uncle Dave. I'm just gonna keep this one short. Just it's McCullers on the mound, and it's almost I don't want to auto bet the Mariners team total over, but I mean we've talked about our
But but, but,
volumes.
but why not?
But why not, right? But it's like, all right, well, McCullers has been terrible. The bullpen is terrible. 1+1 sometimes does equal 2.
Right.
I mean, that would be the look here for me. I don't think there's any hesitation just because they scored 10 last night to the Mariners, that they regress here tonight. I mean, Cal Raleigh finally broke out of his slump with a single there, so maybe that upstarts him starting to get some hits and possibly some home runs there. But I think it's just more so me fading Lance McCullers, and I've seen this movie plenty of times over the last, I don't know, 5, 6 years with McCullers there. But it is Bryce Miller on the mound for the Mariners, minus 131. McCullers for the Astros at plus 109. Total sitting at 9, Uncle Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. My only caveat there would be, I look for pitchers to make adjustments, and Seattle kind of crushed him at Seattle back in April. 4.1 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, lots of fly balls. I mean, that's his problem, right? Fly balls.
Yeah.
he's a fly ball pitcher. Um, I would love the roof to be open, then I would be feeling better about the Seattle team total. But but he hasn't done it. I guess the only thing I can say in his defense is, his last three games have been, two of them, the Yankees and Dodgers, and throw in the Orioles, who are at least an above average team. So a lot of what he's done has been a lot of his bad numbers have been against good teams. But
That's
you
fair.
know, again, it's like, do you expect the same thing to happen the next time around? I don't know, but I guess I say that to say that I could not get to Houston here, um, at all. A little leery that Miller's only minus 120 ish. I would have thought that would be a little higher. So maybe they're expecting both teams to score. I guess I would take the over. How's that sound? I'll take over 9.
Yeah, and you also take a look at McCullers. The biggest concern that I've had with him is that he issues a lot of walks. He's given up at least or issued at least 3 walks in 4 straight starts. He has a whip of 1.5 right now. And you mentioned it, right? Yeah, he did go up against some good offenses where he got hit, but against St. Louis, he gave up 4 runs. You mentioned the game against Seattle where he gave up 6, 3 against the Orioles. So I guess until it's not broken, don't try to fix it, right? So I think yeah, over 9 for the game, and Mariners team total over whether it's first 5 innings or a full game. You get all 9 at bats, obviously with the road team and the Mariners here. So yeah, that's what I got for Mariners Astros. Last game we'll get to here tonight. We talked about this in his last start, Uncle Dave. Giants Dodgers here tonight. Robbie Ray for the Giants, Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers. Dodgers are a minus 246 home favorite, plus 199. I'll just call it 200, plus 200 on the money line for the Giants. Total sitting at 8. And we talked about this yesterday with the astronomical price that, Yamamoto had to only go on and lose the game. Did the Giants there? But, I'll pull up the Shohei Ohtani numbers again as far as when he's make starts for this Dodgers team, Uncle Dave. And he's not going to be in the lineup here tonight hitting despite hitting a home run last night since April 26th there. But what are your thoughts on Giants and Dodgers here tonight?
Well, I mean, do we do the automatic and take the Dodgers team total under 4.5 without Ohtani in the lineup? I mean, I think we do.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think I would be inclined to take the Giants on the run line. I mean, it's not like Robbie Ray is horrible. He's got a 1.09 WHIP and a 2.76 ERA. I mean, that's not horrible. Now, the downside is that the Dodgers have seen a shit ton of him, right? Um, but Mookie hasn't seen a lot of him. Freddie hasn't exactly destroyed him. I mean, the guys that have had success against him, Miguel Rojas and Pages, who's doing well. But I guess, I mean, even Kyle Tucker's hit a couple home runs off him. I mean, maybe the Dodgers wake up and they just pound the shit out of the Giants. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go without Ohtani in the lineup. I would be taking the Dodgers team total under and perhaps looking at the Giants first half on the run line. That might be an option. Um, Want to see what that might be expensive, but it might not. I don't. I don't. We can't pull it up.
We said for the
Let's.
first 5 innings.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh yeah. Shit. You can get the Giants plus half a run plus 120 at circa plus 120 at least plus money everywhere. I might make that bet.
Yeah, right now I see. Oh, I don't even see it here on. Some of these books just make it so difficult to navigate through these menus that they do have here. But I mean, you got the number there. Just going back to the Otani thing. So the Dodgers have lost 4 of his last 5 starts, and I think we talked about this, earlier. Either was it this week or last week. The Dodgers have scored a combined 2 runs over his last 3 starts that he's made for this Dodgers team, and he hasn't been in the lineup for those games as well. So that kind of tells you, all right, well, he's pitching really, really, really well for us, but also we're kind of paying a tax on him not being in the lineup and leading off for us as well. But I mean, he's 2-2 on the season, Uncle Dave, with a .97 ERA, a .81
Right.
WHIP, right? So
Yeah,
I'm not.
and the Giants have seen quite a bit of him, but they haven't had any success at all. So maybe you just take the full game under if we're expecting the Dodgers to perhaps be a little less potent offensively without Ohtani in the lineup, and we expect Ray to at least not get crushed. I would be inclined. There's a few books that still have an 8 out there. DraftKings does. Vegas has it. 7.5 other places, but at 8, I would definitely be inclined to look at that under.
Yeah, 4.5 right now is the team total -115 for the Dodgers here tonight. I see a 8 -119 right now, currently over on DraftKings for this game. If you're able to find a 4 in that first 5 innings as well, I don't hate that. Actually, I would love that in this game here between Giants and the Dodgers. Those are the kind of games that I wanted to get to, Uncle Dave. Anything else on the baseball card you want to touch on, or that you've already
No, you
bet?
kind of hit all the ones that I think kind of hit the hit my button a little bit. You know, your Mets are your boy Framber.
Hmm.
I don't have a play in that game, and it looks like the Mets are kind of turning out to be the sharp side there. Don't love Scott, but I will be curious from a fan standpoint to see how Framber bounces back tonight after his well, just call it an outburst.
We'll call it an outburst for Framber. Yeah, he's pitching at in City Field tonight against the Mets. We'll see how it fares there. Right now, Mets are a very slight favorite, -112. I currently see over on DraftKings -108 on the take back price there for the Tigers. All right. Before we do get to best bets here, Uncle Dave, just want to remind everybody to get over there to pregame.com, and it'll be the same uh, type of coupon that we've been talking about for this week, but it'll just be a different code. And as I pull that up for you guys, here we go. You guys think we planned this all together, but we, just put it together as we go here. But the promo code will be RISE10, RISE10. You can get $10 off of anything, including rest of May all access. Get every pick in every sport from your favorite pregame pro through May 31st for less money than the normal 7-day all access price. So the one that I've been talking about over the past week or so here, get the rest of the month of May all access right now, available for $99. Only $89 when they use that coupon code RISE10, RISE10. So you're essentially getting another couple weeks there. I don't want to say for free, but it's a value pack right now. So do us a favor, use that promo code RISE10 over there at pregame.com. And again, it's a good opportunity for you guys to get a sample of what the pregame pros do over at pregame.com. And if you want to get on a longer package after the month of May ends, going into the summer, getting into football season right around the corner as well, I think this would be a good opportunity for you guys to do that. So get over there pregame.com and use that promo code RISE10, $10 off of anything, including the rest of May, all access, every pick from in every sport from your favorite pregame pro. All right, Uncle Dave, let's wrap it up here for this episode with our best bets for the Wednesday card here. Where are you taking us?
To Milwaukee. Back to a game we already talked about. I'm going to take the first 5 under in the Brewers and Padres game. I'm going to right now you can still get that under 4 at a lot of places. Circa has it, Superbook has it, William Hill Caesars has it. The ESPN bet, if that you have that option, they've got a 4.5. It's juiced under -145. But I would have no problem laying that juice. But that the thing about the Miz, and I know I said we don't necessarily expect him to throw 50 pitches at 102 or more, but the Padres have never seen him, and that's a problem. So I trust King to not get crushed. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's the Brewers' offense, right? They're not great. I mean, they could go off, but historically and typically, they're not going to beat you by scoring more runs than you in a slugfest. So I like the first 5 under 4 in that game.
Yeah, we mentioned that's probably the pitching matchup of the night here between those two starting pitchers and the Padres and the Brewers there. So hopefully, runs are definitely at a premium in the first 5 innings there between the Padres and the Brewers. I'll go back to the NBA, Uncle Dave. I'll keep this one simple. We'll try to get to the window early. I like that Pistons first quarter bet, -1.5 right now. Currently over on DraftKings at -115. And as I mentioned, for the 6 games that the Pistons have played at home, they've been very, very good, leading by at least 4 points in 4 of those 6 games. And it was the very first game where they got punched in the mouth by Orlando, where they just came out shooting very, very well. And a lot of those guys didn't really have playoff experience, right, on the Pistons. But as that series progressed and going into Cleveland now, they've made their adjustments coming off of losses, especially at home there. So I do see market's moved a little bit against me. You could get a -105 right now, currently over on DraftKings at -1.5 in that first quarter. So I do expect them to be up by at least a bucket in that first quarter against the Cavs in Game 5 here tonight. So Pistons best bet first quarter -1.5 on the spread, -105, currently over on DraftKings. And that's going to do it here for
I
this.
can tell you what's going to happen there because of the way your luck's been running.
Yeah,
Uh, the Pistons will be up 4 with 2.8 seconds left, and Harden will hit a half court three at the buzzer.
I was going to say that, or either they're going to foul a three-point
To
shooter.
be 28-27.
It's gonna be either that or they're gonna foul a 3-point shooter. He's gonna make all 3 free throws to
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just
It's funny that when things start going bad, you kind of expect those things to happen, right?
yeah. But yeah, hopefully I can get out of the slump here today with the Pistons
Well,
there. So.
I'm laughing, but it's true, and I'm laughing not because of you, because
Oh, I'm
lighting
laughing at me.
I'm not lighting it on fire lately either. So I think that way. Like, well, that means my King will give up 4 in the first, and I'll be what the f, um, you know. So you know, shit happens. That's why they call it gambling. All we can do is try to find positive expected value and move on.
Yeah, at some point it's like, you want to get upset because you're, giving out the picks and you're losing. But at some point, you just laugh at it and you move on. So,
Yeah, but you can't
um,
change your process because
no, you can't. No.
it's proven to be. You just have to deal with the emotional
Yeah.
BS. Yep.
Yeah. 100%. All right, we'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday episode. So look out for us then. No NBA tomorrow. Let me just take a peek here, Uncle Dave, for the Thursday card in the MLB. Might be a little bit lighter as well.
Usually a lot of day games.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll have, yeah, 'cause we only have 4 evening games tomorrow. So we can
Well,
maybe tackle.
we can talk about the Indy 500 or the Preakness, or we'll find stuff.
Well, doesn't the well, should I ask you about that today? The PGA Championship starts this
Yeah.
tomorrow, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll be here. Maybe I'll let Uncle Dave take the day off so he can enjoy the PGA, but we'll figure it out. We'll see. All right. We'll talk to you guys. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow. If not, then Friday. But I'm pretty sure because I get bored, and Uncle Dave loves talking to me as well. We'll be here tomorrow
Yeah.
in some form or fashion. But till then, good luck with your bets. Enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you guys down the road.